Hi everyone. Welcome to my first ever live Q&A session. So today was a really exciting day. Heroes music video went live and I am ecstatic. I'm so excited. That's all I can say. So I got a lot of really great questions from everyone. I have a good mix. Some stuff about the video and then some stuff about the songwriting process in general. So I'm really, really excited to talk more about that. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes real quick. I see a few people popping on. I want to quickly thank everyone who has shown support on the Heroes video already in the last 4.5 hours. Thank you guys so much. It means so much. And all of your comments and messages, they warm my heart. So thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to get started. My dog is walking around as usual. Hopefully she'll settle. So the first question that I got was, what inspired the lyrics for Heroes? And so you've heard like Taylor Swift and Adele, and there's a lot of breakup songs out there, and I've written several myself. But this song came up from a very special place in my heart, and that is my childhood. When we are children and we are growing up, we often feel as though there are monsters hiding in our closets and under our beds. And hi, Fox. Oh, you okay? Okay. I stepped on her paw. We often feel as though we have monsters hiding under our beds and in our closets. Hi, baby. And that's what inspired this song, because as we get older, those monsters and those fears, they don't really go away. They actually become more real. We realize that those childhood fears that we had were kind of silly, and then we realized there are things much, much scarier in the world. So that is what inspired Heroes. Heroes goes through the process of being a kid and, being scared of the monsters under your bed, and then realizing as you grow up that, you're good. There are much scarier things out there, but what makes you a hero is not being fearless. It's being afraid of those things and facing them anyway. So the next question was, what was the filming and production process like? So this was definitely, I haven't filmed that many music videos, but this was definitely the coolest out of the three. No offense to the first couple, but this was definitely the coolest out of the three that I've had the opportunity to film. I got to go out to Colorado, which is probably my favorite state in the entire world. Sorry, North Carolina, Florida, and all the other cool states out there. And we went out kind of into the mountains, into the wilderness, and shot a bunch of drone shots, and they brought some big cameras out there, and it was literally just the five of us because, obviously COVID times. It was one of those things where, kind of in the midst of COVID, I had to make a choice on, whether or not to take this risk and go out to Colorado and have this huge opportunity, or to, not do it and stay home. And, in the end, I put on my K95 and I was like, okay, I'm going to go do this. And so it was a very small crew. It was just me, Jason, who produced this song, and his sister, one of her friends, and then David and Brenda, who run Shadowplay Films. And they were absolutely incredible. They had me come into their studio. We did some photo shoots. We filmed Ordinary there as well. And they put in so much work. And the five of us just wandered out into the wilderness and filmed for, I think it was like 3 or 4 days. And it was absolutely amazing. Going off of that, someone asked me, are there any fun anecdotes from set? Yes. One of my favorites was there's a part in the video where I'm holding a pile of ash, and the wind is supposed to blow the ash, but there was, absolutely no wind that day. So Jason and Laura, his sister, had to stand off camera and blow on my hand to get the slow mo ash blowing into the air. That was one of the funniest things that ever happened. But I'm sure there were more. I can't really remember too many of them, but that was definitely the funniest. Who chose the location and what was the budget like? So David and Brenda did an absolutely incredible job picking the location. By the time I got out there, they had already scouted and picked all the places we were going to film. The budget for this was quite low. I am so incredibly grateful that David and Brenda and Jason and Laura, they were all, willing to go out there and put in this work to make this happen. We obviously had a very low budget. We didn't, have any sort of grant or anything to do this. So it was all the result of people who were generous and really wanted to make this happen. So I'm really, really thankful for that. Laura asked, was there a script and did people tell you what to do? So because it's a music video, like music videos, you do need to have a script to a certain extent. I honestly almost wish we had more of a script because it was kind of limited time, limited budget. We didn't have any sort of like choreographers or anything, I am a figure skater. Don't get me wrong. I'm a figure skater, but my dancing skills leave much to be desired. I've been told that my dancing is weird. I don't know. I don't know who to believe, but still, so we didn't have any sort of choreography or any like real specific script, but we did make David and Brenda made a kind of general plan based on the verses and the choruses. Okay, so for verse 1, for example, in Ordinary, verse 1, you're going to be standing behind dark curtains. And then in the chorus, you're going to be laying in a bed and contemplating your life. And then the second verse, you're going to be standing behind slightly brighter curtains. So we definitely planned it out a bit. And, because the lyrics are already written, I just had to pretty much sing the lyrics to a playback. They had me actually sing it so that it didn't look like fake lip syncing in the video. Someone asked, what is your favorite song and what is your favorite song of your own music? Ooh, I hate it when people ask me that. Favorite song is really hard to pick. I think I would say that right now, I really like Here With Me by Marshmello is one of my favorites right now. And then All I Know So Far by Pink is another one that kind of like re-popped up in my playlist. It's been kind of like my happy song on my way to work. I have to have some like good, energetic, happy music on my way to work. So those have been kind of my go-tos right now. And then my favorite song that I've written, that's also hard. I like all of them for different reasons. I think currently out of the ones that I've put out there, Heroes is definitely the most kind of complex and exciting of the songs. Okay, kind of going off of Heroes and music in general, dream travel destination. Ooh, so I'm a Florida girl born and raised. I've been in Florida my whole life. Really want to get out of here at some point. I love mountains. Naturally, because I grew up literally steps away from an ocean. I love mountains. So I think my dream travel destination would be go to some of the European, like Scandinavian countries, like Norway, and go hiking in the mountains. I just think that'd be so cool. Either that or I've never skated on a frozen lake. I stood on a frozen lake for this video, but there were no skates involved. I really want to have a frozen lake and a pair of skates, that preferably in the mountains because, mountains. That's pretty much my dream travel destination. Anywhere that has mountains and maybe a frozen lake. When did you start skating? That one's easy. I started skating when I was 2.5. So let's just say I'm 23 now. 2 decades, about 2 decades and a little bit. So not that long. What am I currently studying? So technically, technically I'm not currently in school. I am biding my time. I'm working a job in a lab as a lab technician. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. It's been fantastic. The lab is wonderful. The people are great. The research topic is amazing. So that's been awesome. I am planning on resuming school in probably January. And at that point, I'll be doing a PhD in neuroscience. Let's see. Who inspires you? Oh, that's a nice question. Who inspires me? Honestly, there are so many people in my life that inspire me. I'd say pretty much anyone that has been through hell and who's been through awful, awful things in their life, but still managed to come out the other side and be a good person and be someone who's kind and someone who's, who does good things for other people and makes other people feel good despite the bad things that have happened in their life. Those people inspire me the most. And I'm really lucky because I have a lot of people like that in my life who, keep me going every day. And I'm really grateful for that. If I could perform anywhere, where would it be? So I've always wanted to perform in a big venue. It's kind of like that mix of exciting and terrifying. If I could perform anywhere, I wouldn't want to okay, obviously if I got the chance to perform in like a huge venue somewhere fancy, yeah, I'd do it. If I could pick any place, I would want to perform at the BB&T Center, like to sing my own songs at the BB&T Center, because I would want the people in my life that I love, my family and my friends, I would want them there. And I'd want to be able to share that moment with them because this music and these things are so important to me and they make me so happy. And I want to be able to first and foremost share that with the people I love. So yes, maybe one day. Maybe one day. How many instruments can I play? I play 2. I play piano and guitar. I really want to learn ukulele. I can't say I've played it a couple times. Can't say I'm that good. But I really want to learn ukulele. Let's see. How did I get involved in music in the first place? That's a fun story. So let's go back long time ago. That's actually a quote from my rabbi. He used to tell every story like that. He would start by saying, once upon a time, a long, and he'd go on and on and on and on. So that's a hint to how I started music is I was in the choir at my synagogue. So fun fact, I'm Jewish. I grew up at Temple Bethel in St. Petersburg, and they had a choir when I was young. I can't even remember what age I was. And that was my first time pretty much like singing and performing and that sort of thing. And I had so much fun with it. I loved it so much that when the choir disbanded, which it did eventually, I didn't want to give that up. That was like a huge part of my life. So I taught myself guitar. I already knew piano from years back, but I taught myself guitar and I reached out to the rabbi and the cantor and I said, look, I want to keep doing this. I want to keep, being involved in this. How can I do that? So I started kind of volunteering with the synagogue. And there's something in Reform Judaism called song leading. It's not performing. You're not putting on a show. You're singing with people, not for people. And that's probably my favorite part of Judaism, or at least Reform Judaism in the manner that I grew up, was that feeling of everyone in the room singing the same song and everyone's hearts feeling connected. And that was just such a beautiful thing to me. And when I went to college, I kind of fell out of touch with that because I felt most connected with the synagogue that I grew up in. And I had always kind of dabbled in songwriting. I'd written a few songs, but nothing that I wanted to really like share with the world. And the first song that I ever wrote that I performed was The Answer, which is on my other YouTube channel. And I really hope to put that on Spotify one day. And that was the first song. I wrote it at 4 a.m, the night before Relay for Life. And It was in honor of my mom, who is a cancer survivor. And I wrote it at 4 a.m. I performed it the next evening. And it's still to this day one of my favorite songs that I've written. And that's how I started this. I've just kind of continued to write over the last few years, and it's kind of just grown from there. Hardest part of production. Music production, honestly, all of it. I am not super involved in the production aspect of things. I really want to be. I want to learn more about how to produce music and how to like do that part of it, because so Jason Piccini is who produced all of the songs that I have on Spotify right now. He is an absolute genius. He is brilliant. He is an incredible composer. He comes up with these super cool, unique ideas. And I love the way that, you know, when I write a song and I kind of just, here's a song. Let's see what we can do with it. And he just turns it into something really unique. I recently got some better recording equipment, so I want to start actually learning how to at least produce some simple stuff. I got an interface because I want to try to record my guitar, because none of the songs I have out right now have like authentic guitar in there, and I want to try to like get that component into my music. What's next? How do you write a song? Lyrics first or melody first? Oh, I love that question. So this is a fun answer for me, because my songwriting, I can't write on demand. Like, I can't sit down and be like, okay, today I'm going to write a song. Woohoo! That never works. That actually turns into some of my worst music. For me, my music comes from, honestly, some of the darkest parts of my life, some of the darkest moments, and some of the happiest as well. I've gotten a few happy ones out there. And usually, you know, sometimes I come up with like a little phrase. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. That would be good in a song. And then sometimes I hear a little like melody in my head and I start humming it, and I'm like, okay. That happens a lot at work when I'm there's something called a cryostat at work. And when I'm on the cryostat and it's like a very kind of repetitive movement sort of thing, I start hearing melodies in my head. But the best songs that I've come up with were ones where I just sat down, I picked up my guitar and I just started strumming, and then I kind of sang a phrase to whatever I like thought of at that moment, and they just kind of come. Like, in some moments in my life, the music just kind of comes out. So it's kind of hard to describe, but it's definitely a fun process. The next question was, how long does it take to write a song? So shortest time was like an hour. Longest time was like a year. I'm ADD. I'm ADHD. So for me, if I don't start and finish something, it doesn't get done. So like when I start writing a song, if I don't like start it and then figure the whole thing out in that one session, it's going to take a while. I have one song I started writing maybe 3 weeks ago, and it's not done yet. And I don't know when it's going to be done. But it is what it is. All right. The music comes at its own pace. So yeah, some of my music, like Heroes was definitely a one sitting song. Ordinary was a one sitting song. The Road was a one sitting song. A lot of my favorite songs that I've written were like quick, like really emotionally driven songs. Favorite part of songwriting? That one's also a good question. So kind of going off of what I talked about earlier was, you know, for me, music stems from some of the hardest parts in my life. And, you know, when I'm feeling bad or I'm feeling sad or anxious or any of those things, I feel like the music is almost myself making a cure for that feeling. Because when I go back and I listen to the song, it kind of reminds me what I need to hear. Like in regard to Heroes, reminding me that it's okay to be afraid. That's where heroes come from, you know? So that's definitely my favorite part of songwriting is taking emotion and putting it into words and using that as fuel to help drive yourself forward. Which song was your favorite to work on or sing? Ordinary was really fun. Ordinary was a fun song to write, and it's a fun song to sing as well. I like singing Heroes live best, I think. But Ordinary, the whole production process, it was the first song we actually produced. It came out second after The Road, but it was the first song we actually produced. And that was definitely my favorite. It was fun to make. We had a lot of harmonies in there. It was very like kind of upbeat and that sort of thing. So definitely that one. I think this is a joke. One of my friends asked, will there be a techno remix? I assume he means of Heroes. I think it might also be a joke, but I will answer it. Knowing Jason, if he gets in the mood to make a techno remix, he will make a techno remix. And his techno remixes are like, they're cool, all right? He's good at these things. He can take any song and like all of a sudden it'll be like 80s version or techno, or I decided to make like a light piano version or something like that. So I think it's really on Jason's whim in that respect. So the last question I have here is, do you have advice for someone who wants to write music but is too scared to share it with the world? So my advice for that is, number one, you do you. Right? Like, you don't let fear stop you from creating your art in the first place. Create that stuff, use it as fuel, use it as your outlet. It's such a healthy coping mechanism. There are so many worse coping mechanisms in the world that music is like, it's a good one. All right. If music is your coping mechanism, you're on a good track. And then my next advice on that would be, take some time, look through the music that you've made, and then find, it's up to you. Some people like me, like, I feel like I'd rather share things with strangers than my friends. Like, some people would prefer to just, have a small group of friends and share their art with those people. And then there's people like me who'd rather just go into a room of people they've never met before and might never see again and share it that way. And those are kind of two options. Like, I would pick like a small group of people that aren't going to judge you and share it. And I guarantee you, if you share your music, they're not going to look at you and be like, your music's horrible, you need to never write again. Like, they will probably, I would hope, if they're good people, encourage you to continue. And, you have to remind yourself that, being a songwriter, it's a work in progress all the time. I am a work in progress. I have so much to learn about songwriting and production and choreography and, promotion and all this stuff. And it's constantly a work in progress. And remind yourself, you do not have to be perfect or the best or anything to share your art. You just have to be you to share your art. So that's all that I have for today. I'm trying to decide if I want to play a song. I guess I can. I will. I promised you all that I would. So let me find my cable real quick. Oh, pardon me if I have issues. My wrist is still bothering me quite a bit. So I wrote this song. This is the first time I've ever tried, at least, to perform this song in full. So I might mess up if I forget the lyrics. But this song is called Psychological Games. I wrote it several months ago. Sorry. Trying to get my guitar in tune. There we go. And I recently just finished it. It was one of those songs that I started writing and then didn't finish until like a month ago. So, all right, here we go. couldn't break my heart. So you went after my head, I wouldn't fall apart. So you hid under my bed, the monster that you are. Waited for me to starve, you let me kill myself instead. You made me run around, chasing your intentions. You wouldn't make a sound, except for your inventions. The truth you buried deep while I was losing sleep. You let me hate myself instead. Oh, your psychological games just get in the way. Wait for me to break. Oh, your psychological blame, think I'm gonna play. Your psychological games, whoa, whoa, your psychological games, whoa, whoa. I'm smiling at your face and hiding from your anger. Wish I had run away while you were still a stranger, but we stayed out too late, and then you sealed my fate. You let me lose myself instead. Now this is where we are, talking about the weather, still bleeding from the scars that hold myself together. I couldn't see the dark until I went too far. You let me break myself instead. Oh, your psychological games just get in the way. Wait for me to break. Oh, your psychological blame, think I'm gonna pay. Your psychological games, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. So go find yourself another piece to play. Find yourself a little dignity. You are always asking me for more while I'm bleeding on the floor. Find yourself another hand to draw. If you wanna find yourself at all, let me know what you are thinking of. Can I even call this love? Oh, your psychological games, they get in the way. Wait for me to break. Oh, your psychological blame, think I'm gonna play. Oh, oh, your psychological games, they get in the way. Wait for me to break. Oh, your psychological blame, so you wanna play some psychological games. Alrighty, guys. Well, it's been almost a half an hour. Wow, that's long. I can't even listen to myself talk for that long. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I just saw some comments. Oh, thank you, guys. So thank you all for joining me. Anyone who's watching this later on, thank you for watching. If you haven't yet seen the Heroes music video or Ordinary music video or The Road, it's all on my YouTube channel, Cailey Weaver. Please go check it out. Leave a comment, share it. Anything helps. Any sort of interaction with the video helps. And I appreciate everyone who has done so far. So everyone have a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining me. Bye.